Hey guys, my name is Miska and welcome to Overwatch Central. I wanted to talk about competitive play, and we do this a lot, right? Just talk about the different issues with competitive play, what improvements we would like to see, but this time I would like to focus on the seasons in particular rather than just competitive play as a whole and anything that has to do with toxicity and all that stuff. That's not really for this video, but I want to talk about the seasons in particular and what a new season should mean for Overwatch in my opinion, as currently I feel like we've had a little bit too much of the same old with just the events and of course the seasons, so there's not really much that feels new anymore. Even stuff like the Diva Nano Cola is nice, but it's a very different type of event, and at the end of the day it basically just comes down to playing Overwatch anyway, so it doesn't really bring anything new and exciting and refreshing. And this is the sort of key word here, refreshing. I want seasons to feel kind of new, interesting and exciting to get into rather than how they feel currently. I got three sort of main points, some kind of overlap a little bit. Feel free to comment down below throughout this video as you're watching it, or maybe even before the video, and see what you're expecting and what you would like to see improved with the seasons match up with what I have to say about it. So let's start off with the main one, the main beef that pretty much everyone seems to have with the competitive seasons at this point, and that is that they just don't feel like a new season. Alright, and why is that then? Well, you do your placement games, and if you go maybe 5-5 or 6-4 or something like that, something that's kind of around the neutral mark, maybe even you lose 6 games and you win 4, you will still end up right around the same SR as last season. Even if you win all 10, sometimes you would not gain a whole lot more SR straight from the start, meaning that the placement games kind of feel just worthless, honestly. They don't really feel like they have any particular point, and there's nothing really exciting about placement games in that way. You kind of do them to be able to see your number on the screen, but that's about it. They might as well kind of just show your number throughout the placement games period, because honestly it just really doesn't seem to matter anymore. So a big SR reset of some sort, not a complete reset but just some sort of soft reset or anything like that, would be amazing in my opinion. Nobody ends up really having much of a change with placement games ever right now. Some sort of bigger reset would be interesting and exciting and feel refreshing, and would even, you know, bring some people back to competitive play that, you know, maybe placed all right but then after that had a few bad experiences and gave up on comp for a bit. Maybe they can also come back to competitive play and hope for a better experience this time, rather than just go, well, it's basically just a continuation of what I've been playing for about 2 years now. Blizzard have already said that a hard reset is kind of out of the question, but some sort of soft reset that still allows you to gain or lose a lot with placement games. I'm not sure how this would be done. I'm not a game designer, but that's definitely my main gripe, and I think a lot of people will agree there. The next thing that is also kind of touching on the same point of, you know, having the seasons feel refreshing and new is of course the season length, and that should kind of be matched better with balance patches in my opinion. The set sort of 2 months that it is right now makes sense in a way, and they were changed because seasons just felt a little bit too long before. It felt like we had kind of the same meta throughout an entire season and almost had to wait until the end of it now. But recently, or well, the past few months rather, Blizzard have started just patching in the middle of a season, changing the meta rapidly in the middle of a season, maybe even towards the end of it, maybe right at the start after first 1 or 2 weeks of a different meta, and that has really made the game feel a little bit disconnected with itself almost. They have the seasons of competitive play, yet they change the way competitive play feels in the middle of those seasons. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. I'm not saying that they have to put in the balance patches right at the start of a season and then just not touch it for the entirety of those 2 months, but I feel like there's a lot that can be done here, as currently it just doesn't feel like those balance patches and the seasons, and of course Overwatch League as well, really match up properly at all. 3 months would be fine if you're gonna have about 2 bigger balance patches throughout that time, as the game would still feel different and change a little bit. But having 2 months as it is right now, having a balance patch kind of just in the middle of it, and oh, the season's over, but hey, the next season is here and you're gonna start off where you kind of left off anyway, just makes everything feel like a long, very convoluted and just unnecessarily complicated season. I don't want one long season that just has small breaks in it almost. I want what feels like a sort of fresh start or a fresh introduction to competitive play, and season length matched with the balance patch timings definitely has a lot to do with this. Finally, almost similar to the previous point though, we have matching seasons with hero releases, balance patches with new maps and all of that sort of stuff to make more of a fuss about a new season. Look at games like Rainbow Six Siege, look at games like Fortnite. They don't really have as many small seasons here and there. For example, Rainbow Six Siege, what that game does is that they have a big DLC, a big content update that also introduces a balance patch a lot of the time, and maybe a new map or a rework of a map, and then it throws all of that into the game and starts a new season. And it's very exciting to get into because you have some new characters in there, you have a new map you can run into, maybe some other map improvements and changes, hero balance and all that sort of stuff. And on top of all that, the sort of skill rating reset in that game is also a bit harder than in Overwatch, and that feels very exciting and very refreshing. Look at Fortnite, people talk about this example all the time. They make a new season, they have a new battle pass with new skins, new cosmetics, new objectives to complete to get those same cosmetics and skins, and then on top of that, map changes or sort of lore bits, I guess you could call them in a way, just map changes that everybody is kind of curious around and wonders what it could actually mean. Just something that kind of brings people back to the game and brings more focus to the actual content as well as the new season and any changes that they make throughout that season. Overwatch's content updates, sort of launches, cycles for seasons and all of that stuff just seems incredibly desynced and very weak in comparison to those games in my opinion. And it's something that people have been asking about for a long time, and I'm kind of asking for a change with this video as well. I posted a written version of this video on the Battle.net forums as well, just to kind of have it be official, kind of as a suggestion or whatever. I'm not sure if much will come from this at all. I wouldn't say that Blizzard listen to content creators more than the community. Everybody has a voice in the Overwatch community in a way. And I want to hear if you guys kind of agree with me here or what you have to say about this. But this, I think, is one of the main things about Overwatch, because I know not everyone plays competitive play, but just introducing a new season and a new sort of big update like that feels a lot more refreshing rather than just all of these small changes here and there that are scattered between the PTR, the live client, console and PC with all sorts of weird timings. Just doesn't really feel that exciting. Right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wanted to talk about this really badly and I wanted to kind of summarize my thoughts in one spot. Let me know what you think, leave a like if you enjoyed the video and if you agree, I guess, and check out the Battle.net post below if you want to respond more properly, maybe a bit of a longer post or something like that there, as sometimes that sort of stuff can get lost in the YouTube comments. Alright, that's all for now though. Thank you very much for watching. Do subscribe for more Overwatch content. You guys know exactly how this works by now. Click the bell and all that stuff. But that's all for now. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, take care and we'll see you then.